Once upon a time, deep beneath the shimmering waves of the vast ocean, there existed a magnificent kingdom ruled by a wise and majestic sea king. The kingdom, known as Atlantia, was a breathtaking underwater realm that flourished with vibrant marine life and shimmering coral reefs. Towering castles made of pearl and seashells graced the ocean floor, and the inhabitants of the kingdom were as enchanting as the waters that surrounded them. Among the inhabitants of Atlantia were the Sea King's 6 beautiful mermaid daughters. Each mermaid possessed a unique trait, but it was the youngest mermaid who possessed an insatiable curiosity and fascination with the world above the wave. From her underwater palace, adorned with seashells and pearls, she would often gaze upward, mesmerized by the sunlight filtering through the surface and the distant sound of laughter carried by the sea breeze. Tales of the human world had been passed down through generations, captivating the young mermaid's imagination. She yearned to explore the world beyond the sea, to see the towering cliffs and lush forests, and to experience the mysterious human life. Her older sisters often warned her about the dangers and complexities of the human world, but their words only fueled her curiosity. She would spend hours listening to the songs of dolphins and whales, hoping to catch whispers of stories about the humans who walked upon the land. The mermaid's heart longed for adventure and discovery, and her dreams were filled with visions of a world so different from her own. As she swam through the crystal-clear waters, the young mermaid would encounter creatures of all shapes and sizes, playful seals, wise sea turtles, and schools of colourful fish darting playfully through the water. She would marvel at the coral gardens that swayed gently with the current, and at night she would swim beneath the moonlit sky, where the ocean sparkled like a sea of diamonds. But despite the wonders of her underwater home, the mermaid's heart remained captivated by the world above. She listened intently to the stories told by the wise old seahorses who had travelled to the surface and witnessed the beauty and chaos of the human world. Their tales painted a picture of vast lands, towering cities, and creatures unlike anything she had ever seen. She imagined what it would be like to walk upon the sand, feel the warmth of the sun on her face, and dance under the stars. She wondered about the human emotions that swirled within them and the melodies that emanated from their voices. The mermaid's desire to explore the human world grew stronger with each passing day, her imagination painting vivid scenes of adventure and friendship. Little did she know that her longing for the human world would set her on a path that would change her life forever. The mermaid's heart brimmed with a sense of destiny, and she knew deep within her being that her journey to the surface was inevitable. With hope in her heart and a spirit of adventure in her eyes, she vowed to one day follow her dreams and experience the wonders that awaited her beyond the sea. And so her tale of bravery, love, and sacrifice began, carried by the currents of fate towards the unknown. The mermaid's 15th birthday arrived, marking a significant milestone in her life. On this special day, her sisters gathered around her, their voices filled with excitement and anticipation. They adorned her with a shimmering crown woven from strands of pearl, symbolizing her coming of age. As the celebration unfolded, the youngest mermaid's heart beat with a mixture of joy and nervousness. This was the day she had been eagerly awaiting. For her father, the Sea King, had granted her permission to venture to the surface and witness the human world with her own eyes. Accompanied by her sisters, she swam towards the surface, their laughter echoing through the water. As they breached the surface, a breathtaking sight greeted their eyes. The expanse of the open sky stretched before them, painted in hues of pink and gold as the sun began to set. The mermaid's heart soared with a newfound sense of freedom and possibility. With wide eyes, she observed the land in the distance, where forests stood tall and meadows blossomed with wildflowers. The sound of birdsong reached her ears, filling her with wonder. Her sisters regaled her with tales of humans they had encountered, describing their customs, music, and laughter. Intrigued by the stories, the mermaid longed to experience it all firsthand. She dove beneath the waves and resurfaced, delighting in the sensation of the cool air against her skin. Her sisters joined her in play, their laughter carried by the gentle sea breeze. As the evening sky transformed into a canvas of stars, the mermaid and her sisters swam back to the depths of the sea, their hearts brimming with joy and memories of their first adventure on the surface. The mermaid knew that her connection to the human world had deepened, and she yearned for more encounters that would satiate her growing curiosity. In the days that followed, the mermaid's fascination with the human world intensified. She often swam to the surface, enchanted by the sights and sounds that awaited her there. It was during one of these ventures that her life took an unexpected turn. As she frolicked near the surface, a storm brewed, its ferocious winds and crashing waves threatening to capsize a nearby ship. The mermaid's heart swelled with concern as she noticed a figure struggling in the churning waters. Without hesitation, she dove into the tempestuous sea, determined to save the life at risk. With her graceful strokes, the mermaid reached the struggling figure, a young prince who clung to a piece of debris. With her strength and agility, she brought him to the surface, cradling him in her arms. She swam towards the safety of a nearby shore, her heart pounding with adrenaline and a newfound purpose. Laying the unconscious prince on the sand, the mermaid watched over him, her eyes filled with a tenderness she had never known. As the prince stirred awake, his eyes met hers, and an unspoken connection formed between them. He was captivated by her otherworldly beauty, and she, in turn, was drawn to the warmth and kindness in his eye. Unable to speak the language of humans, the mermaid communicated through gestures and expressions, sharing with the prince her nameless love and gratitude for the encounter that had intertwined their lives. Though their time together was brief, it left an indelible mark on both their hearts. With a heavy heart, the mermaid slipped back into the embrace of the sea, watching as the prince's ship sailed away. She knew that the bond they had forged was something extraordinary, a connection that transcended the boundaries between their worlds. Love had taken root in her heart, and she longed for a way to be with the prince, to bask in the warmth of his presence once more. Little did she know that her unwavering love for the prince would lead her down a path fraught with sacrifice and difficult choices. Her journey to obtain a human form and win his heart would test her in ways she could never have imagined. But the mermaid's determination and devotion would prove to be her greatest strengths as she embarked on a quest to find the means to be with the one she loved. Driven by her love for the prince, the mermaid set out on a treacherous journey to seek the guidance of the sea witch. Legends spoke of her as a powerful and enigmatic figure residing in a dark cave deep within the sea. With a mixture of hope and trepidation, the mermaid swam through the murky depths until she reached the sea witch's lair. The eerie glow of bioluminescent creatures illuminated the path, casting an ethereal light on the mermaid's determined faith. The sea witch, with her twisted form and sinister grin, peered at the mermaid with eyes as cold as the abyss. She listened intently as the mermaid poured out her tale of love and longing, revealing her deepest desires. The sea witch, sensing an opportunity to gain power, offered the mermaid a dangerous proposition. In exchange for her enchanting voice, the mermaid would be granted a human form, enabling her to walk among humans. However, the transformation came at a cost. With each step she took, it would feel as if she was walking on shards of glass, a constant reminder of the sacrifice she had made. Desperate to be with the prince, the mermaid agreed to the sea witch's terms. As her voice left her lips, it transformed into a cascade of sparkling bubbles that dissipated into the sea. With her voice gone, the mermaid's fishtail began to slowly morph into slender legs. Agonizing pain shot through her body as her transformation took hold. She gasped for breath, struggling to adjust to the foreign sensation coursing through her. At last her tail vanished, replaced by two fragile limbs. Weakened and disoriented, the mermaid floated in the water, her human form an unfamiliar burden. But with sheer determination she mustered her strength and pushed herself toward the surface. Emerging from the water, the mermaid found herself standing on the sandy shore. Every step sent waves of excruciating pain through her body, but she pushed through, fueled by her love for the prince. With each wobbly stride, she ventured closer to the world that held her beloved prince. As she stumbled upon the land, the mermaid discovered a myriad of sensations previously unknown to her. The grainy texture of the sand beneath her feet, the gentle caress of the wind against her skin, and the radiant warmth of the sun enveloping her, these earthly delights both thrilled and bewildered her. With a newfound determination, she set off in search of the prince's castle, her heart racing with anticipation. She yearned to catch a glimpse of him, to be near him once more and win his love. As fate would have it, the mermaid's perseverance led her to the grand castle that stood proudly on a cliff overlooking the sea. Hidden by a cloak of anonymity, she watched from afar, her heart aching at the sight of the prince's jubilant demeanour. One fateful day, while wandering through the castle gardens, the prince stumbled upon the mermaid. His eyes met hers, and a spark of recognition flickered in his gaze. Sensing her vulnerability and beauty, he approached her, his voice filled with kindness. Unbeknownst to the prince, the mermaid's voice had been sacrificed for her transformation, rendering her unable to speak. However, her eyes spoke volumes as she gazed at him with a mixture of love, gratitude, and longing. Struck by her captivating presence, the prince decided to take her into his home, believing her to be a lost soul in need of protection. He offered her a place in his castle, where she could remain under his care. As the days turned into weeks, the mermaid lived in the castle, her silent presence weaving its way into the fabric of the prince's life. She watched him closely, her heart swelling with unrequited love. Though unable to express her feelings, she found solace in his company and hoped that one day he would come to understand the depth of her affection. Unbeknownst to the mermaid, the prince's heart had already begun to gravitate towards another, a neighbouring princess whose beauty matched her own. The mermaid's joy at being near the prince was tainted by the bittersweet realization that her love may forever go unreciprocated. As time went on, the mermaid's love for the prince only grew stronger, despite the ache of unrequited affection. She watched from the sidelines as the prince spent more time with the neighbouring princess, their companionship blossoming into a courtship that seemed destined for marriage. Though her heart shattered with each passing day, the mermaid chose to silently support the prince's happiness. She buried her own desires deep within, finding solace in the knowledge that he had found someone who made him smile. The mermaid witnessed the blossoming romance with a heavy heart, often retreating to the solitude of her chambers to nurse her wounded spirit. She yearned for the prince's happiness above all else, even if it meant sacrificing her own. But deep down, a glimmer of hope flickered within the mermaid's heart. She clung to the belief that true love could overcome any obstacle, even as the prince's affections grew stronger for the princess who would soon become his bride. Though invisible to the world, the mermaid remained a constant presence in the prince's life, silently supporting him through every triumph and setback. She revelled in the stolen moments when their eyes would meet, the unspoken understanding passing between them. In her quiet moments of introspection, the mermaid grappled with conflicting emotions. She longed for the prince's happiness, yet a pang of jealousy tinged her heart as she imagined a future without him. Her unyielding love for the prince pushed her to the brink of desperation as she struggled to find a way to win his heart. Tormented by her unrequited love, the mermaid found herself caught in an internal struggle. The knowledge that her time on land was limited only intensified the ache within her heart. One fateful night, while wandering through the castle's grand library, she stumbled upon a hidden scroll containing ancient lore. It revealed a chilling truth. Should the prince marry another, the mermaid would dissolve into sea foam and cease to exist. Horror coursed through her veins as she absorbed the weight of the words. The reality of her sacrifice, her imminent demise, struck her with an overwhelming sense of grief. Tears streamed down her face, mingling with the seawater that clung to her skin. The mermaid's mind raced, desperately searching for a way to alter her destiny. She sought answers in the faded pages of countless books, consulting the wisdom of ancient scholars and wise sages. But each text echoed the same inevitable outcome. Her life would be forfeit should the prince's heart belong to another. As the days ticked by, the mermaid's internal torment intensified. Her heart ached with the weight of an impossible choice: to witness the prince's happiness from afar, or to risk everything for a chance to win his love, even if it meant her own demise. In the depths of her despair, the mermaid's resolve wavered. She questioned the depth of her love and the lengths she was willing to go to preserve it. The realization that her sacrifice might be in vain loomed like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over her spirit. Yet, despite her doubts, the mermaid's love burned brighter than ever, fueling her determination to find a way to change her fate. In the midst of the mermaid's internal turmoil, her sisters, who had been observing her struggles from afar, could bear her pain no longer. Determined to help her, they embarked on their own dangerous journey to seek an audience with the sea witch. After a treacherous voyage, the mermaid sisters reached the sea witch's lair. They pleaded with her, offering their own beautiful flowing hair in exchange for a chance to save their sister from her impending fate. The sea witch, sensing an opportunity for further gain, agreed to their proposal. She took the mermaid sisters' shimmering locks, weaving them into a magical knife. This enchanted blade, imbued with the power to break the mermaid's curse, was entrusted to the sisters. With a mixture of hope and trepidation, the mermaid sisters swam back to the surface, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of purpose. They presented the gleaming knife to their beloved sibling, revealing their selfless sacrifice and the means to alter her destiny. Touched by their love and sacrifice, the mermaid clutched the knife in her hands, its weight both physical and symbolic. She knew that with this blade, she held the power to change her fate, to forge her own path, and perhaps even to win the prince's heart. But as she considered the knife's gleaming edge, doubt clouded her mind. She questioned the morality of taking someone else's life to secure her own happiness. Deep down, she knew that true love required selflessness, and that the prince's happiness should not come at the expense of another. In the depths of her contemplation, a moment of clarity washed over the mermaid. With a heavy heart, she made the difficult decision not to harm the prince or anyone else, even if it meant relinquishing her own chance at happiness. The mermaid realized that true love was not possessive or destructive, but rather selfless and pure. She could not bring herself to harm the prince, for in doing so she would be betraying the very essence of love itself. With unwavering resolve, the mermaid sought out the sea witch once more, returning the enchanted knife and rejecting the path of darkness that had been laid before her. The sea witch, angered by her defiance, unleashed a torrent of threats and curses, but the mermaid remained steadfast in her decision. The sea witch's vengeful words reverberated through the ocean depths, but the mermaid knew that she had chosen the path of righteousness. Despite the uncertainty that lay ahead, she clung to the belief that lay ahead. She clung to the belief that love, in its truest form, would guide her to her rightful destiny. As a reward for her selflessness and refusal to harm others, the mermaid's fate took an unexpected turn. The benevolent spirits of the ocean, moved by her unwavering love and sacrifice, bestowed upon her a new form, a spirit of the air. With her transformation, the mermaid's ethereal beauty shone brighter than ever. She soared through the sky, her iridescent tail now a shimmering trail of stardust. The air became her domain, and she revelled in her newfound freedom. Guided by the ocean spirits, the mermaid discovered that her selfless actions had not gone unnoticed in the realms beyond. She was given an opportunity to earn an immortal soul, a chance to ascend to a higher plane of existence. But this opportunity came with a condition. The mermaid had to spend the next 300 years performing good deeds and spreading love and kindness among humankind. Only then would she be granted the ultimate reward, an entrance into the kingdom of heaven. Overwhelmed with gratitude, the mermaid accepted the task with open arms. She knew that this was her chance to make a lasting impact on the world, to leave a legacy of love and compassion that would transcend time. With a heart filled with purpose, the mermaid embarked on her journey as a spirit of the air, spreading her ethereal presence throughout the world. She would bring comfort to the lonely, courage to the fearful, and love to those in need. And in doing so, she hoped to earn her place among the celestial realms. For 300 years, the mermaid's spirit soared across the skies, carrying with her a message of love and goodwill. Her ethereal presence touched the hearts of all who encountered her, bringing hope to the hopeless and healing to the broken. In her celestial form, the mermaid witnessed the triumphs and struggles of humanity. She comforted the sick, whispered words of encouragement to the downtrodden, and showered acts of kindness upon those who had forgotten the power of love. With each selfless deed she performed, the mermaid's essence grew stronger, her spirit radiant with a divine light. She found joy in the smallest of gestures, a warm smile, a gentle touch, or a word of understanding. Throughout her journey, the mermaid encountered both beauty and darkness in equal measure. She witnessed acts of cruelty and despair that tested her resolve. But in those moments, she clung to the memory of her love for the prince, a beacon of light that guided her through the shadow. The mermaid's dedication to her mission never wavered. She persevered, using her ethereal presence to inspire change and bring forth the best in humanity. Her 300-year journey of selflessness and compassion became a testament to the power of love and the transformative nature of kindness. As the end of her 300-year journey approached, the mermaid's spirit radiated with a divine luminescence. Her acts of love and kindness had touched countless lives, leaving an indelible mark on the world. In the final moments of her quest, the mermaid found herself standing on the threshold between the mortal realm and the celestial kingdom of heaven. The benevolent ocean spirits appeared before her, their presence a testament to the mermaid's unwavering devotion and selflessness. With tears of joy streaming down her radiant face, the mermaid stepped forward, ready to embrace her eternal destiny. The gates of heaven swung open, welcoming her with open arms. In that moment, the mermaid's transformation was complete. Her spirit, once confined to the vastness of the ocean, had ascended to a realm beyond mortal comprehension. She had earned her immortal comprehension. She had earned her immortal soul through her boundless love and the goodness she had brought to the world. As the gates of heaven closed behind her, the mermaid's essence merged with the celestial energies of the universe. She became a guiding light, a beacon of love and compassion that would forever illuminate the hearts of those who sought solace and inspiration. And so, the tale of the Little Mermaid, a story of love, sacrifice, and redemption, reached its poignant conclusion. Her journey, though fraught with challenges and heartache, had ultimately led her to a place of eternal peace and happiness. From that day forward, whenever the moon cast its gentle glow upon the sea, whispers of the Little Mermaid's legend would drift through the waves. Her story would continue to captivate the hearts of all who heard it, reminding them of the enduring power of love and the beauty that lies within acts of selflessness.